8 most mysterious creatures you never knew existed. In Central America right now, a frog toils on a leaf, and if you turned it over, its heart would be thumping blood in the cavity of its chest. No incision, no X-ray, only pieces of skin made from living glass. That is real. That animal exists, and it's far from the most bizarre creature on this list. In the end, you will encounter something that punches with lightning speed that causes the water surrounding its fist to boil, and this thing sees colors your brain can't physically handle. 8 animals, all verified. None of these things should be happening. The first was baffling scientists for nearly 100 years. In the heart of the Congo's Ituri rainforest, something is moving between trees that appears to be a designer sewn up a giraffe and borrowed legs from a zebra, before swathing it all in dark velvet. That is the Okapi. With its striking white and black striped back legs and a face that rivals any giraffe in auto-deformity, because it is one, it stands around 5 feet on top of the shoulder. Today, the Okapi is the only living relative of the giraffe, the last one in all the world. It was discovered only in 1901, and even Western scientists had never heard of it before. Local Mbuti had known of it for generations, but Europeans dismissed the accounts as merely myth. Then explorers collected skin samples, and the legend stepped out of the woods. And its tongue is about 14 inches long and dark blue-black in color. We had enough to be able to lick its own eyelids and clean its ears. Its tongue strips leaves from branches like you peel tape off a roll, one long tug. A creature that has eluded science for hundreds of years is a rare beast. This one makes the Okapi look like a common species, yet few researchers who study it have ever seen one in the flesh. This pink fairy armadillo has the size as a palm of your hand, 5, maybe 6 inches long. This species inhabits the dry grasslands of central Argentina and spends nearly its entire life below ground. Its shell is a whitish/pink, not a pigment but blood. Beneath the armor are thin blood vessels, and the pink color is a result of blood flowing just beneath them. To dump heat into the surrounding soil, more blood floods to the shell when the animal gets overheated. An existence in radiating bone. Grab one, and it will probably die of stress within days. So delicate outside of their burrows that virtually no zoo has managed to keep one alive. The odds of seeing a snow leopard are higher than the chances you'll be able to hold this animal in your hands. If that like button is still gray, now would be a good time to fix that. From the rarest armadillo on Earth to the world's most misunderstood face, you may have encountered Blobfish. That sad, droopy, melting face just went on all the memes and ugliest animal lists. Most people never tell you this. That face is a fraud. Sure, on the surface it appears to be a collapsed rubber mask. However, that is what decompression serves to achieve. The blobfish makes its home over 2,000 feet down, in pressure that is about 80 times what you would feel standing on a beach. Down there, its body is perfectly functional. You could pick it up and eat it for dinner if you wanted. Its flesh is a fluffy gel, only a bit less dense than water, so that it floats above the ocean floor like an inert balloon without ever needing to budget energy in swimming. No swim bladder, no muscle effort, just effortless floating. Drag it out of the depths, and the change in pressure destroys its architecture. This so-called ugly blobfish is a victim, dragged out of the world it was never designed to leave. It looks like any other fish, albeit a grumpy-looking deep-sea fish in its native habitat. So the blobfish is misunderstood. Another animal is nearly invisible by design. Case in points, the glass frog gets its name. The skin on its belly is totally clear, not translucent, not faintly see-through, transparent. You see it from underneath, and you see a thumping heart, chewing gum, working digestive tract, and bones that suspend literally like some kind of biodynamic anatomy model. Why would evolution do that? Scientists believe transparency is camouflage. Its body lets light pass directly through it when the frog sleeps at day, pressed against a green leaf. What predators see from below, leaf, not a frog. But other species go even further, tucking their legs up tightly towards the body to create zero shading. And a recent study discovered that some glass frogs can shuffle nearly 90% of their red blood cells into their liver when they sleep, concealing the one color that would give them away. A frog that turns into a window to escape being eaten. Now forget delicate and transparent. The following creature appears to have crawled out the Cretaceous and never got the news that dinosaurs are no longer a thing. So what I have for you is the shoebill stork. A bird that stands just under 5 feet tall and looks at you as if it is weighing whether or not the effort to eat you will be worth it. that huge bill, forms like a Dutch wooden clog, is not art. It is a weapon. Thick, serrated edge, blade stout enough to cleave a 6-foot lungfish in one blow. The East African swamp hunter literally stands still as stone when hunting, not for minutes, for hours. And locked in place like some kind of moronic statue. Then it lunges the whole way in, doing a face-first collapse onto the target. The lunge is so furious that the shoebill nearly face-planted, needing to reset. Now, this might not be comfortable, but shoebill chicks practice siblicide, the bigger chick attacking the smaller one. The parents watch, and they do nothing. It turns out survival of the fittest starts for a shoebill chick long before it takes its first flight. So far, everything has lived in the woods or swamps. The list now turns to the open seas, and that is where the animals are really out of this world. Imagine something that can fit on your thumb. Bright electric blue on top, silver underneath, mouths with feathery tentacles fanning out like some alien creature's wings. Its name is Glaucus atlanticus, the blue dragon. It is not a fish, it is a sea slug, a less than 1-inch long nudibranch that lives inverted at the ocean surface by swallowing an air bubble and keeping it in its stomach. Belly up, it drifts with the current, the blue underbelly camouflaging them from a predator looking down at the surface of the water. It is its diet that makes it dangerous. The blue dragon preys on the Portuguese man-o'-war. It gobbles up their stinging cells without firing them off, and then it stocks those encapsulated and primed little capsules in the tips of its own finger-like organisms, primed to case down anything that brushes against it. Combined stings from a blue dragon can be even more painful than the man-o'-war because they have stolen venom from multiple kills to deliver through a much smaller system. Carrying borrowed weapons, a paperclip-sized creature. One last evolutionary facial fuck-up before a big enough guy round her face to plenish your supply of animals. The Saiga antelope is a gusty steppes dame of Central Asia, and when you look into its face for the first time, your brain sputters. The nose is massive and round, drooping over the mouth, more of a sort of stubby trunk. It looks broken. It looks like a design error. It is neither. Depending on the season, your large nose has 2 essential processes to execute. In summer, through clouds of suffocating dust raised by thousands of hooves, the Saiga gallop across the steppe. Those inflamed nasal cavities trap that debris and cool down the air before it enters our lungs. In winter, when temperatures plunge to -40, the same chambers heat up sub-zero air for its antelope to breathe without tearing its respiratory lining in the process. One nose, 2 seasons, 2 completely different functions. A defect, not a flaw, an engineering solution hundreds of eons in the making. Which of the 8 beings has truly taken you aback? Comment the name in comments, and classically the one requested at the very start. The animal punch so hard can cause flash of light. Meet the mantis shrimp, which is roughly the size of a large crayon, possibly the most overpowered animal on the planet. It has spring-loaded clubs for 2 of its front appendages. When it lands, those clubs are worth more than a .22 caliber magazine. The force creates cavitation bubbles, tiny pockets of vacuum in the water that collapse with such vigor they generate temperatures reaching thousands of degrees and a momentary flash of light, sonoluminescence. The victim takes 2 hits, first from the club and the second from a collapsing shockwave. The shockwave alone can disable or kill, even if the mantis shrimp strikes off target. Aquariums learned the hard way. Inside, the mantis shrimp have punched through crystal tanks as thick as a finger. Then there are its eyes. In general, humans are colorblinded to the light spectrum they detect with 3 types of photoreceptor cells. The mantis shrimp has 16. Wavelengths no vertebrate on Earth can see, such as ultraviolet light and polarized light. The 2 eyes move independently, and trinocular vision is possessed by each eye secondarily. One eye can evaluate depth without the help of the other. A tiny monster armed with the quickest strike in nature, and, despite their diminutive size, the most sophisticated visual system of any living creature. That is not a glitch. That is the face of 400 million years of continuous engineering. 8 creatures, a frog made of glass, a bleeding armadillo in his shell. This is actually a slug that robs jellyfish of their weapons, discovering a dinosaur carnivorous wading bird, a fish ruined by the surface, a naturally existing air purifier antelope, an unseen forest giraffe from science for eons, and a bulletproof fist of an invisible shrimp. None of them are mistakes. Think of every weird nose, every transparent belly, every pilfered stinger. Each exists because it was the solution to a question that no one thought to even ask until millions of years from now. The planet is not going out of mysteries, you are just about to notice. If this is your first time here, then follow us, because next time we are going deep. When you turn the page, it shows us ocean trenches and volcanic vents, things alive where nothing should be able to live. See you there!